Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of PMI KSA, I need to thank you very much for attending this very great workshop about disciplined agile. And I need to introduce our speaker and moderator for this workshop, Dr. Faiz Rasool. Dr. Faiz Rasool is an agile transformation expert. He's a coach, chief trainer at BM Training School, and he have a vast experience with disciplined agile. Today he will be running a workshop for us for disciplined agile. This will be an interactive. So in case you need to have any questions or any comments, you can just raise your hand and we will open the microphone for you so that you can speak. Even if we can open the camera if you want to open the camera as well. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Faiz Rasool to start talking about this subject. Okay, please.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Thanks, Shalan, for this generous introduction. And it's my pleasure to conduct this workshop for the members of PMI KSA chapter. As Shalan already introduced, that I'm Faiz Rasool. I'm your facilitator for this workshop that is on Agile project management and an introduction to PMI's Discipline Agile Toolkit for team and enterprise agility. This workshop is being offered to you in collaboration with the chapter. This workshop is the first workshop in the series of 2 workshops. And the next workshop would be within a week time, at the same time, same day. If you will be joining both of the workshops, you will be getting a certificate of completion for a course on Agile project management. Okay, so it is highly recommended that you should be joining both of the workshops so that you can complete the whole course and can get 4 PDUs. Otherwise, you will be getting 2 PDUs for this workshop if you complete only 1. Let's start our workshop. As Shalan initially mentioned that this workshop will be very interactive. It would not be a webinar. It would be a course. So it means that you and me will be fully involved in this course. Before talking about the course, a brief introduction about PM Training School. We are PMI's premier partner and also the provider of SAFE certifications. PM Training School is one of the very few training partner or ATP who offer the whole suite of PMI certifications all the way from PMP till PFMP and then Agile certifications all the way from Scrum Master to Value Stream Consultant and Discipline Agile Coach. I am the Chief Trainer at PM Training School. I'm certified instructor for PMP, Scrum Master, Senior Scrum Master, Agile Coach, and also various other certifications from PMI and from SAFE. That is a skilled agile framework for business agility. But this was my introduction. It's time for your introduction, and you can introduce yourself by answering these 4 questions. Please take 30 seconds, think about these questions, and then I will be requesting few of you to introduce yourself. I won't be able to get time to get introduction from all of you because we are already more than 40, but randomly I would be requesting, or if you want to volunteer and want to introduce you, I would love to hear from you. Please take your 30 seconds now.
You can write your questions in the chat, and in case you need to also to raise your hand in case you need to speak directly, please.
Yes, any volunteer who want to speak up? Imran
Yeah,
Kiani?
I see. Yeah, I see one allowed to talk. Imran, please. Shall I open your camera?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes, hello.
Yes, Imran.
Yes, my name is Imran. I'm with you from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and I'm working in a construction industry, one of the biggest infrastructure project in the all over the world, in Riyadh Metro project.
That's awesome.
And then, like the third question, what will make this course a success for me? Like, if I'm going to understand it, or I'm going to get, like, you can say, the outline of this course, then I believe that it's a success for me.
Awesome. Yeah, surely.
And
And one thing, yeah, we don't know about you.
uh, I don't, like, there are going to be several, so I don't know what you're pointing at.
One fun thing, one hobby, one of your interest, anything you would like to share with us.
That I'm very keen and loyal to my job.
Okay, awesome. And nice to meet you, Imran.
Thank you, Mr. Faiz.
We have another Imran to talk. Please,
So,
Imran.
yeah, Iman Al-Sarhani. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Iman.
Hi.
Hi, Iman, yes.
My name is Iman Sahani. I'm from Riyadh. I work as a project manager at the healthcare sector, government healthcare sector. I'm very interested to learn more about the Agile method because I would like to know if it's applicable on my daily work, where I am actually specified in the transformation field, the strategic and transformation field.
Awesome.
One thing you don't know about me, you mean me or you?
About you. Any fun thing, any hobby, any interest?
I'm a mother for 2 kids.
Oh, wow. That's
And
nice.
PMP certified. It was a goal for me, and I focused do it during the COVID time, and then I
Wow.
passed the test, which is an achievement for me.
It is.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you for the
Cool.
opportunity.
Yeah, and nice to meet you, Iman.
You're welcome.
And
thank you so much. You too.
We have also Hilal. So Hilal, please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for providing this, Dr. Faiz. Thank you very much. My name is Hilal Ahmed. I'm working in the consulting sector. I've been delivering some amazing projects for past 14 years. This course would be a great opportunity for me because I've always thought to do PMP and something, a longer version of it. I bought some books as well, but I couldn't do it and was parallelly involved into some other things. But yes, this workshop provides me an opportunity to deep dive further that how to deliver projects with the greatest success. And the one thing which you don't know about me is I love skydiving.
that's awesome and good to know.
Thank you.
Here, I'm joining you from New Zealand, and here we have quite a lot of opportunities for these type of adventurous activities, especially skydiving and sky jumping and harbor jumping and bungee jumping, quite a lot. Good to know. Nice to meet you, Hilal.
We have also Haitham. Haitham, please unmute yourself.
Yes, this is Haitham Zaran speaking from Riyadh. I work in DGDA Diriyah Gate as a project manager and as well as stakeholder management team. This is a very interesting course because you know, I would like to apply it in my day-to-day job and the projects. One thing I'd like everyone to know is that I little bit play piano. That's it.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you so
good.
much.
That's nice, and loved your interest. Nice to meet you, Hitham. And
You're welcome.
we will be having one more introduction, and then we will be moving to our topic.
So let's go with Zuhair. Please, Zuhair.
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone. This is Engineer Zuhair Al-Gasham. Business Development Manager from Specialized Laboratories Mutabaq, based in Dammam, actually. And what I'm expected to learn from this course, I've been certified as an Agile practitioner quite like a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things that you might not know about me, that I have never worked in an Agile environment, so that's why I'm really interested to get the experience from the guys who have their hands with this experience.
True, true. And nice to meet you, Zuhair. As you guys mentioned that the focus of this workshop will be to giving you an introduction to Agile. It's pretty important that if you are already working in the Agile sector, then there will be few concepts, especially in the first part of this workshop, that you are already introduced with. In the second part, that is next week, if you don't have introduction to discipline Agile, then there will be many new things you will be learning. But today, our focus will be only on Agile aspects of project management. And Shalan, I just want to know that if I have to run some videos, would I be able to run those videos or not? Can you
You
share
should
the
be able
sound?
to. Yes, you should be able to. You need to try it, but you should be able to, yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, now guys, let's start with our workshop, an introduction to Agile project management. In this workshop, we will be talking about waterfall or traditional approach for technology-powered products. How can we manage the projects that focus on technology-powered products using a traditional approach? The purpose would be just to give you an introduction, a history, a background that how we used to develop technology-powered, especially software products back in 1990s or earlier than then, and then what were the issues that really pushed us to go towards Agile base. So we will be making a case for Agile. Then we will be talking about Agile Manifesto. We will be looking on its 4 core values and 12 principles from our perspective. We will try to learn it in a right way. And then we will go deep into Agile and learn how Agile work, what is iterative and incremental process, and how can we plan an iteration that is key in an Agile work. We will also be talking about various Agile roles, responsibilities, ceremonies, artifacts, and some other concepts such as user stories, iteration demonstration. And then we will be concluding our topic, our Agile topic, by giving you an introduction to information radiator for the purpose of visibility. That's the overall agenda. If you guys have any question, I would recommend just raise your hand and Shalan will be helpful to opening your mic and you can speak up. Also, I would be asking a number of questions from you so that you should be fully involved in this workshop. Now, let's start with this diagram, this picture. What do you think, guys? What this picture is talking about? You can write it in the chat if you cannot speak up. If our chat is open?
Yes, yes, it should be open, or you can write it in the Q&A if the chat
Yeah,
is not
question
open.
and answer. True.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a project life cycle. Nura, I agree. For what type of projects? It's a hybrid approach from Suleiman. Yeah, it's IT project lifecycle. I fully agree. Yeah, Nura, that's true. Product lifecycle. Yes, you can say it's also a product lifecycle, especially technology powered products. Products could be in any sector, but this lifecycle especially talks about software product lifecycles. It is about construction project lifecycle, though it is not purely for the construction sector. It is more about software sector. And thank you everyone for your comments. It is a predictive lifecycle for software development. Okay, predictive SDLC, software development lifecycle. In fact, predictive, plan-driven, waterfall approach, or even this V-shape, as you can see, this V-shaped life cycle, all they are the name of the same life cycle. Okay, and the story of this life cycle started in the early 20th century. Maybe someone heard about a name called Frederick Taylor. Anyone heard about Frederick Taylor? Okay, Frederick Taylor was from USA. His impact on our current way of working is very, very deep. He was a methodologist, an entrepreneur from the shipping industry. He used to believe that the industry workers, the blue collar job people, they are pretty lazy, laid back, they are not smart, they are not the one who can determine how to work. Okay, for these type of people, we normally have those white collar job holders. We call them managers, the smart and intelligent guys who knows the processes very, very well inside out. They should be defining processes for the workers, and workers should be adopting or should be doing their work as per those defined processes. This concept was adopted across the sectors. In construction sector, in manufacturing sector, it was the start of like industrial revolution at that time. So all different sectors adopted this approach of defined processes, where managers, they develop the processes, they define the processes, they develop the plans, and then the industry workers follow that plan, that schedule. In 1960s, when computers were invented, when compilers were developed, we have seen computer programming languages. It was also start of softwares. We start doing some software projects as well. Okay, at that time, this defined process approach, this waterfall or plan-driven approach has become very, very mature. Okay. As expected, software guys, they also adopted the same approach and used it in their software projects. And this approach is shown right in front of you. Okay. In this approach, what we do, initially with the help of our business analysts, system analysts, we gather requirements for the software, for the solution we are building. Once we gather our requirements, we analyze them, verify and validate them, and then we prioritize them. We are able to determine the scope of our work. Okay. And based on that scope, we develop a detailed plan so that we can achieve that scope by using our resources, spending our money, and by doing a number of different activities as we do in the waterfall approach. So a plan is developed and then it is followed. While following this plan, we develop the architecture of our solution, our product. Architecture could be of any nature. In the start, especially in the 90s, 60s, 70s, where things were not advanced, things were not contemporary, our architectures were very much spaghetti architecture. Spaghetti architecture is, you can think of an architecture, if we change one thing, the whole thing gets changed. Okay, but nevertheless, we spend a lot of time, our architects, and they develop the architecture of our solutions. And then our designers, they design each different component of this solution, this architecture that we develop. Okay, once different components are designed, it's time for the programmers to construct this solution. It's time for the programmers to write small chunk of codes for each different component of our design. Okay, so we construct the solution, we write the code. Along with this, we do a lot of validation activities, testing activities, quality assurance activities. We write unit tests to ensure that our code is working. We do functional tests to see that if our components are working well, and then integration testing. The purpose is if all different components of our solution, they can work together in an integrated way. And at the end, we go back to the users, and users check that, okay, the requirements they were looking for, if they are met or not, by conducting some acceptance testing, for example, UAT, user acceptance test, okay, or usability testing, so on, so forth. So this was the approach that was adopted back in 1960s. And we keep on using it till 1980s, 1990s. But remember, the people who were constructing these codes for whom we were architecting and designing our solutions, these guys were not ordinary people. They were programmers. And if you are from software background, or if you ever work with a programmer, these workers are real knowledge workers. They are a totally different niche. These are the people who work in a totally different way. They are smart, they are intelligent. You know what happened? They soon start realizing that this step-by-step approach is not going to work. The reason, once the project team spend a lot of time on gathering requirements, making architecture, and then designing each component of our solution, we already spend a number of weeks on it, maybe 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Okay, now after these after spending this time, after putting all that energy, when they start developing the solution, most of the time what happens is client comes back, especially in 1990s with the evolution of internet, clients, they start learning a lot about their needs. Initially, when they provide requirements here, okay, and then after 6 to 8 weeks or after 2 or 3 months, at this point in time, client learn more about their needs and they start feeling the initial requirements they provided are not going to help him or her in the market, will not give any competitive advantage, because they start seeing more and more things over internet. They start learning that, okay, there are much better solutions available in the markets. Their competitors are using much better ways of much better type of solution, much better type of technology. So what used to happen that clients always coming back to the developers, to the technology people, that no, we want something different. This is not going to give us any competitive advantage. Okay, but on the other side, the project team, the technology people, they already spend quite a lot of time. They already spend 2 to 3 months, energy, resources, money, everything is spent. For them, it become a nightmare to change the architecture, to change the design, because they already did a big upfront design, a big upfront plan. We call it BUP, or if we talk about design, we call it big upfront design, BUT. Okay. Then there was a lot of mess. Clients, the solution technology team developed, they seldomly use those solutions. If you remember in 1990s, what was the status of softwares? How many of us were using those softwares? And if you remember, if we were using one software or any other software, how many features were we using? Do you remember? Maybe very, very few. Maybe only 1, 2, or 3 features, because the rest of the features were of no use. At that time, the software industry, the technology industry was intermule. Okay, we were not getting a real advantage from the software industry. The reason, the solutions we were building were not providing any help to our clients, to our business people, to use them as per their need. That's why software developers start thinking that this way of working, this waterfall approach, V-shaped approach of developing technology-powered products are not of any help anymore. So in 1990s, many different methods such as Scrum, DSDM, XP, all these methods start coming into the market, and the purpose was how to find better ways through which we can meet the competitive needs of our clients. How can we provide our clients with the solutions that can help them to effectively use for their competitive advantage? That was predictive SDLC. That was the background that helped us to start our Agile movement. Any questions about it?
You can use the chat if you want to ask any questions, or you can raise your hand, please.
Yes, either raise your hand, ask the question in the chat. Even you can comment anything in the chat if you like, if not a question.
So what was the name of the creator of this method, the waterfall method?
Yeah, Frederick Taylor. He was the one, yeah. He has like long-lasting impact on our current way of working, like our waterfall approach was derived from Frederick Taylor work of defined processes, where we define, plan, and process, and we follow it.
And that was at which year? In which year?
In the start of 20th century, around maybe in first decade of like 20th century.
So the waterfall approach was named by him.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then PMI matured it back in 1960s.
Oh, the industrial. Okay.
True.
Good.
Just a yeah or nay question. Yeah or nay question mean you just need to speak up. Either say yeah or nay. Read the question and write in the question answer or in the chat, whatever is available for you.
I think there's Iman is asking about what's the preferred type. Is it waterfall or agile? Maybe you will be answering this question during the workshop.
True. So we will be learning about the waterfall and then agile base, and I will be telling you what are the advantages agile provide us when we are doing our knowledge work, knowledge projects, software projects, technology powered projects. In fact, it is much more than only software or technology powered projects. Now agile is everywhere across different sectors. Yeah, another question is, I want to know the difference between waterfall and agile approach. Waterfall is plan-driven approach. We developed a detailed plan and then we follow that plan. And there are many other differences as well. On the other side, agile is an approach where we don't do big upfront planning. We don't develop a big plan to follow. No, we don't do it. We do a high-level planning. We don't spend a lot of time, and then we work in iterations. Okay, in 1 week or 2 weeks iterations. Okay, guys. Nay.
Ahmed, you want
Imran,
to let's open the mic for Ahmed if you need to specify. Please, Ahmed.
Hello. Well, I have some. You hear me? I have one
Yes.
opinion here. Yeah, between long project software development, we need waterfall after this architect and design the solution. But when we start configuration or development, we need to work based on agile. This what I think is the modern way of the software life cycles. We cannot depend on waterfall only, and we cannot depend on agile only. Agile can be successfully when you work in small development applications. Waterfall only, but when we come to mega projects to make digital transformations, Agile not success alone. Yeah. So up to design, finish design and finish solution architect and solution design and collect everything and get sign off from client, Agile can come to picture. Yeah. And the sprints come started. But if you start the project agile from the beginning for mega project itself, it will be not success, especially when the client is coming the new in the software. Yeah, this is my this from my experience. Yeah, around last 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts. I agree that hybrid is the approach that works very well in most of the sectors, in most of the industries. The example you provided is a hybrid approach, okay, where we use waterfall and agile side by side. Many industries who are new to agile, who were using waterfall for a long time, for them the right way of doing is to use a hybrid approach. In fact, all the frameworks which are available in the market, for example, skilled agile framework or PMI discipline agile or any other method, they really don't want you to go fully and pure agile straight away. Okay, what they want, they say that, okay, waterfall, it provides you the stability, it provide you the structure, okay, but on the other side, we should be bringing innovation. Okay, a network that result in innovation in with a focus on the customer. So let's bring it together to have a hybrid operating system. And when we talk about digital transformation, again, digital transformation, it is highly recommended. We should not do digital transformation as a project. Digital transformation is an ongoing activity. Our focus is not on digital transformation. Our focus should be more on learning organizations. That is how we keep on improving by using lean and agile mindset. We will be talking quite a lot about it. So a lot of different comments. Many people said nay, others said yay. In fact, predictive SDLC approach is a defined process approach. Okay, that's what I was talking about. We define processes, we write our plans, and then we develop our software in predictive SDLC. Okay, there is another question from Umnia. Which is the best approach for startup software companies? Especially the companies who are developing their MVPs, minimum viable products, or some proof of concepts. For them, lean startup or exploratory approach is the right approach, Umania. And we will be talking about this approach in our second workshop that would be next week. Okay, guys, another question. J or nay? In V-shaped approach to project management, the team members are used effectively. The comment from Noura is J. From Abu Bakr, nay. And the answer is nay. The reason is when we are in one phase, for example, gathering requirements, at that time, our system analysts or business analysts are the people who are more busy. Our developers and our testers are not busy. When we are architecting and designing, our business analysts are free. So it means that our team has quite a lot of peaks and troughs. Sometimes few people are busy, and the other time other people are busy, and we really don't have an effective utilization of our team. Okay, our team is not working together with the sustainable pace from start till end. Now, though there were a lot of different methods that were in use in 1990s, the purpose was just one, how to develop the solutions, how to develop the softwares and the products that could be useful for our clients, like Scrum, DSDM, and XP. But in the summer of 2001, 17 different software thought leaders, they gathered together in Utah, USA, maybe for the sake of skiing or a conference or something, but they sit together and they decided that we should be uncovering better way of developing our software. We should be uncovering better way of working, better way of managing our projects and developing our product. And they said that we can do it through an agile way of working, and the agile way of working they presented with the help of 4 values and 12 principles. In this slide, we are going to look on Agile Manifesto 4 values. Now, these 4 values, I believe most of you have already seen them. Okay, especially if you have a basic introduction to Agile. These values says that though we understand that processes and tools, they are important, they bring stability, they support us, but what we prefer individuals and interactions. We prefer left side over right side. That is, if we empower our team members, if we empower our technology people, if we empower our engineers, they will be able to find much better way of working than what we are writing them. Okay, the processes we are defining for them, or the tools we are providing them. For example, Primavera, MS Project, they are beautiful tools. They are very supportive to you, but it is again the team, how they use those tools are important. Similarly, if we have very, very strict processes, but if it is these processes are not effective, especially here I'm talking about knowledge projects. I'm not talking about those industry projects that are like, for example, construction project or manufacturing. Here I am talking about where requirements are changing, technology is coming new and new. In that case, processes really don't work. It is the people, the teams who work together to develop the effective solutions. The second value, working software over comprehensive documentation. Though we understand, especially in the government sector, in the banking sector, documentation has its own importance. Okay, but at the end, it is the working software or the consumable solution that is of more importance. What do you think, guys, when we buy a mobile phone? Okay, what we get? We normally get a box with a mobile phone, charger, and some accessories. Also, we get a manual, okay, instruction manual. What we do with that instruction manual? What we do with that instruction manual?
Actually, we don't read it actually because it's a bulky one.
Yeah, in fact, what we do, we just put it in the rubbish. Okay, we never read it because we just want to use.
Based
Yes.
on what is your experience. Like if you're using Android, it will be easy to you using it. But if you bring some product from IKEA, you have to use this manual, yeah. So it is based on the product itself, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we should be developing those products that should be easy to use, and we really need not to use any type of manual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and in fact, we believe on the software who really doesn't need any support. They should be self-sufficient. Now, you have seen that here we are talking about this terminology, working software. Because Agile movement was started by the software industry, you will be finding a lot of terminology from the software. But we also have clearly seen the advantages of Agile way of working in last 2 decades. Okay, it means that now Agile way of working is beyond software industry. It is in all different industries. Either it's marketing, it's procurement, it's vendor management, it is in electronic products, mechanical products, wherever there are like technology powered products, or in fact beyond that, Agile is highly adopted. Why it is highly adopted? Because we have seen its benefits in the software industry. Now look, who are the top 10 companies in the world? Just think about them. The most profitable companies in the world, top 10.
Apple.
Yeah.
Amazon. Tesla. Okay, and some fashion one, French one, I don't remember the name.
True. Most of them are high-tech companies. Okay, the companies who are in the tech sector, maybe except Aramco, who is in oil and gas. It is only one of the very few companies who are in top 10. But again, in Aramco, most of our work is now being done with the help of sophisticated software, sophisticated technology-powered products. Okay. So it means that we have seen the beauty of Agile way of working, and it is being adopted in across different sectors. That's why it is recommended that this manifesto that was published 2 decades ago was very good, very beautiful, really helped us to improve our way of working. But as we are using or start using Agile in many other sectors. That's why instead of using software terminologies, we can use better terminologies. And for that purpose, PMI use a terminology called consumable solutions instead of using the terminology of working software. Okay, consumable solution mean not only software, but the hardware. Think about an electronic product or a mechanical product. It's not only software, but also the hardware on which this software is running. Similarly, some documentation that is needed for the sake of compliance purposes, for the sake of regulatory purposes. Okay, and then the processes that are changed as a result of these consumable solutions, and the systems that are improved as the result of this consumable solution, our way of working, the whole thing is called consumable solution. So what we believe in consumable solutions over comprehensive documentation. This mindset change our current way of governance, our current way of milestones, or our current way of like how we manage how we govern our project governance. Okay, the new concept of governance is lean, agile portfolio management, lean governance, instead of a governance that is totally focused on producing a lot of documents, a lot of evidence. Instead of using an evidence approach, a document approach, now our approach should be more like risk-based, but a lightweight approach. Our milestones should be very much lightweight. Then there comes the third value, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Anyone would like to comment? What does it mean? We prefer to collaborate with our customer instead of spending a lot of energy on the contract. What do you think, guys?
Actually, I have been seeing some questions asking about how we use Agile in construction. And what I need to mention here is maybe in collaboration. Currently, we are introducing the BIM actually, and it's coming here to Saudi Arabia. It's have been in different locations. And in this BIM technology, when we are using BIM, we are collaborating. We are introducing a bit of Agile. Of course, construction cannot be fully Agile, but it can be a mix of Agile and the tools that's coming is supporting this approach actually, like BIM, like digital twins and other tools.
Exactly, Shalan. And a hybrid approach is the approach that is going to work for long. A combination, a right combination, as per your need, as per your organization needs, as per your sector need, you have to find that hybrid approach, that way of working that suit your context. Okay. So it's not the case that you.
Sorry, Faiz, for this one. I'm sorry. But for construction, I see one case in my life here, Agile only the one solution for construction. Yeah, the engineer he built in very critical area. He need to take piece by piece. So he make the construction and the base construction like sprints, a small sprint, second sprint. And after he finish, he don't know he implement Agile without knowledge. Yeah. He's expert, but he, but he tell me after I tell him we using this one in software is like Agile process. He tell me what's the meaning of Agile. I built this but based on my experience. He like 35 years of experience in construction.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Now, see, our first value, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. This is a beautiful example of this value. Okay, what is important? The project team, the way of working they adopt is more important than a particular industry process or particular industry tool. What works for you, you should be adopting it. In fact, we will be talking quite a lot about organizations, about the context, about the unique nature of the teams, unique nature of the projects, unique nature of the organizations, and based on that unique context and nature, how can we choose our way of working. When we say agile, remember PMI believes in pragmatic way of working, pragmatic use of agile instead of pure use of agile, so that it could be applicable across different sectors. Yes, in construction sector, we can get the right principles, right practices from agile, and again, the good practices from waterfall as well, and determine a way of working, a project methodology that can meet our need. Okay. Next question is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This value says that we should be working closely with our customer instead of our focus, our legal team focus is just on contract negotiation all the time. If you see what happened in the sector, our lawyers, our legal team, uh, our representatives, they spend quite a lot of time, quite a lot of energy on the contract negotiation, on the locking down the scope. If you take the example of construction or telecommunication sector, what we do, we want that lock down the scope so that client cannot change it. If they want to change it, they need to pay more. Okay, that's the focus of most of the service providers. Okay, that's the focus of most of the suppliers. Lock the scope instead of collaborating with the customer. However, Agile believes that we should be working together, okay, for one purpose, creating the solutions that is of value for our customer. So Agile bring the business people and the technology people together so that we can develop the right products in a right way. And then there comes our last value, that is, instead of following a big upfront plan, remember, I'm not talking about planning. Planning has a lot of value in it, but a big plan may not have value in knowledge projects, in technology powered projects. So instead of following a big plan, we will be finding a different way of working through which we can meet the changing needs of our customer. And that way of working is obviously an iterative way. Okay. A way where we are not doing big planning in the start, but we just do a high level planning in the start, and then we decompose our work into small pieces and do a very detailed plan for that small piece for a period of 1 to 4 weeks. Through this approach, this is iterative approach. Through this approach, we are able to respond to the changing needs of our customer. Why? Because we are not spending a lot of energy on big upfront planning or big upfront designing. Okay. So what we do, we decompose big chunk of work into small pieces and then run all those phases. You remember what were those phases? Gathering requirements, architecting, designing, and then implementation and testing, only for small piece of work. However, one of the candidate was saying that maybe we have to develop some initial architecture. We call it architecture runway. Okay, we develop it, but then we design, we construct, and we test our solutions small pieces by pieces. Okay, so we run all the phases within one iteration. By doing that, our team, they are used effectively in a sustainable manner. Our business analysts, our developers, our testers, our designers, they are working closely for small piece of work. That is how we respond to change, so that we can meet the changing needs of the customer. Okay, any other question or comment?
One of the questions coming from the audience is what is the impact of on cost if we change a lot, especially in this kind of projects, how we can control the cost? You are changing
Yeah.
too much.
Okay, now that's the thing. There are many aspects of it. At the moment, we are just looking on the few aspects. Here, we treat cost in a different way. Okay. Normally, what happen in waterfall, we have this iron triangle, triple constraints. Everyone is aware of them. We normally have a set scope, and we try to achieve this scope by spending time and budget. Okay, what happen is when there is a change in scope, it impacts on the budget. Okay, that's the normal case. However, in agile world, normally uh, in the waterfall world, our scope is normally fixed, and then our time and budget we try to manage, but they are not fixed. They could be over budget, under budget, ahead of time, behind time. So it all those things may happen. So time and budget could change to meet the scope needs. In agile world, it is inverted triangle that says that our time and budget is fixed. Okay, and then our scope is changing. It means how we fund in a different way. We don't fund to the projects. We fund to the value streams. It's a different mindset. It's a totally different mindset. That's called lean portfolio management. We fund to the value streams. We have a fixed time. For example, we specify $2 million for 1 year for this value stream. Okay, that is marketing value stream, for example. Okay, and then we try to achieve value under $2 million in 1 year as much as we can. It's a totally different mindset. Here we don't have any fixed scope. Can we have clear scope in early stage? No, no, we don't have. So agile is for those projects where we have uncertainties, where requirements are changing, where scope is changing. If we already have a defined scope in the start, then waterfall is beautiful. What's the issue in waterfall? We know that that's what we are going to build. We have already defined scope. This approach is not based on those projects which have very defined scope and there are very minor changes. Okay, for them, waterfall approach is fantastic. However, where our scope is not defined, for example, new products, new solutions, new technologies, okay, we really don't know what we really need to develop. And even our client doesn't know that what they want us to develop because they are also learning. For that type of products, think about all the new fintech products, medtech products, or any other products where technology is involved. Okay. In that type of products or projects, we really don't have the picture of even after 1 or 2 months. Okay. So
and
that
even doctor for construction, because I see a lot of people audience from construction environment. So also when you are talking about smart cities, when we are talking about smart building,
yes,
it's not well-defined scope. So it's changing. There's a lot of innovation. There are a lot of technology usage, which is making it unpredictable.
True. I agree. In fact, Shalan, that's the thing. That's why we have seen the use of agile and lean way of working beyond software. We have seen, we are witness that everything is changing, not only software products. Okay, and that's why lean and agile way of working is applicable now across the sectors. Okay, so this was Agile Manifesto. Now it's time to have a look on our 12 Agile principles. These principles are that help us to
Sorry, Faiz, for this one. By very simple way, what is the difference between Agile and Lean? By very simple.
Okay, yeah. So though that was not topic of discussion, Agile is time boxed. Okay, we run in iterations, 1 to 4 weeks. Okay, we decompose our work into small piece. Okay, and then for that small piece of work, we do the planning for 1 to 4 weeks. Okay, many people do it for 2 weeks. And then we keep on running our iterations of 1 to 4 weeks. This is Agile. This is called time boxed way of working. We have time boxes. Okay, it provides us a proper cadence. We will be going to do planning after 2 weeks, a proper cadence. Okay, this is Agile. On the other side, Lean started back in 1960s, and Demings. Edward Demings was the founder of Lean, the father of Lean. Lean initially started in manufacturing industry. The purpose was to minimize the waste, but soon it was adopted in the product development, called Lean product development. Lean approach is more like a flow base instead of iteration based. In other words, we don't run iterations. We do a flow based approach, but small pieces of work. Small piece here, okay, we do its planning somewhere here, okay, and we work at it for 2 weeks, for example. And then when this work is finished, okay, we produce some value. Now we go and pick some more work, and then we do planning for it. And maybe this work is finished in 1 week. Here at this point, we produce this work and then go back and get more work, pull more work in a flow-based manner, not in the iterative manner, no time boxing, okay? And pull more work and complete it. That could be, for example, for 2 days only. We finish that work in 2 days, we go and pick more work. And we work on it, and it runs for example, 3 weeks. But when this work is completed, we go and pick more work, but small pieces of work. It is a pull-based system. Okay, we go back, pull more work once our previous work is finished. Okay, this is flow-based way of working or lean way of working. Kanban is an example of lean.
Thank you, Faiz. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. Okay, the 12 Agile principles. Let's have a look on first 4. Satisfy the customer, welcome change, deliver frequently, working together. This should be our main priority, satisfying the customer. Okay, now we understand our business has our needs. Sometimes we have to listen to the customer, sometimes we have to ignore them. And this is the right approach. But in the end, customer is the main thing. Our approach should be customer centric. Okay, whatever work, whatever value we produce should be for the sake of delighting our customers. Otherwise, what would happen? They will be going to another client, another service provider. They won't bother. Okay, we must keep them with us. We must connected with our customer so that they should not be leaving us. Otherwise, our competitors are there. They are working day in, day out to get our customers back. Okay. Welcome change. Welcome change says that in Agile world, sorry, just give me a second. In Agile world, we work in such a way that where welcoming change should not be an issue. So that's why we don't spend a lot of energy, a lot of resources on upfront planning. Instead of plan-driven approach, we use a change-driven approach. Scrum is one approach of Agile. They say that we work in iterations of 2 weeks. Okay. whatever change you want to bring, you can bring in the start of 2 weeks, and we will work for 2 weeks on it. During 2 weeks, we will not be accepting any change. On the other side, there is another method called XP. They say that we work over the iteration of 1 week, and we accept change even during the iteration. We really don't worry about change, okay? Because our iteration size is small and we accept change even during the iteration. And what PMI says? PMI says that neither Scrum nor XP, it should be you as a team who should be deciding that are you accepting change during the iteration, or you are only accepting change in the start of the iteration. So PMI Discipline Agile believes in empowering teams so that they can choose their way of working. Deliver frequently. Deliver frequently mean that we should be working in an incremental fashion, means whatever work we choose here in the start of iteration, it should be of some value, okay? And at the end of an iteration or sprint, we should be delivering this value to our customer in an early and often manner so that they can use that value. And then there comes work together. Work together is more about how to bring business people and technology people together. Okay, we want them to sit in the same room. Okay, client and the project teams should be sitting in the same room working together so that there should not be any gulf of expectation, any gulf of evaluations. Mean business people are expecting something else, technology people are considering the business needs in a totally different way. That's what we really don't want. That's why most of the agile method has a role called product owner. And this product owner is no one but representative of the business people, but product owner is a part of team. So it means business and technology people are sitting together. This representative of, or this proxy of our business people is with us all the time so that we should be developing the right solution, right product for our client. Okay. Trust and support. Trust and support talks about you remember that theories, theory X and theory Y. Theory X says that we need to do macro management, and theory Y says that no, people are motivated. We just need to trust on them. Okay. In other ways, we should not be working as a command and control manager, not a project manager, but more like a project leader. Okay, a steward who should be supporting our team, and team should be trusted to choose the right way of working and to do the work. However, PMI says that where you trust, where you provide support to your team, okay, you work as a leader behind the scenes, you should verify as well. So trust, but verify. Okay, how team is working. And for that, there are many different measurements that we can adopt. Okay. And then there comes face-to-face conversation. We have seen, especially after COVID, we have a lot of virtual teams. Virtual teams have become reality. Virtual teams' beauty is we get the right skills without bringing anyone to our office. It saves a lot of money, but still give us to right skills. But when we talk about the best way of communication, the best way of communication is face to face. Technology team or the engineering team or the team who is working on the projects should be co-located, should be at the same place. In case if few of your team members are virtual, then we should be using the right communication technologies and the right communication ways through which we can bridge this gap of like communication which is not effective, where our team members work in isolation and no one knows that how other people are working. Okay. Any question till this point? Let's have a look at the chat.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
No, maybe Hannah or Shijo, do you want to speak?
Yeah, if anyone want to speak, just speak up. Okay, thank you, guys. So let's move further and talk about working software. Working software or consumable solution, whatever name you want to call it. This principle says that our primary measure of performance, our primary measure of progress should be working software, the consumable solution. If we are producing something, that's the right way. Submitting status reports, submitting big reports, no, they are not of that importance. Our primary measure should be a working software. And then when I say working software, you remember in Waterfall approach on our Gantt charts on MS project, normally we show the progression of each task. 20% completed, 30% completed, or 70% completed. In Agile world, we believe that until it is not 100% completed, quality assured, and client accepted it, we will not consider it done. We will only consider it done when our client will accept it, client will start using it. And then sustainable development. Sustainable development says that Agile really doesn't mean to work extra hours. If we are doing Agile, no, I need to start at 5 p.m. 5 a.m. and finishing at 7 p.m. No, we believe in a sustainable pace where teams should be working only for example, 40 hours a week, not more than that. They should not be doing extra hours. Other important thing is we should be finding ways through which we should become more and more predictable. You know, our scope is very uncertain. Our scope is very unpredictable. And also in Agile world, our managers trust on us. They provide us support. They allow us, they empower us to choose our way of working. They don't micromanage us. It means we are accountable too. So we should be very predictable. We should be able to show that we are working continuously on an indefinite pace. Okay. For example, if we are producing like 2 features per week, we should keep on producing 2 features per week. Or if we are producing like, for example, 3 user stories over 2 weeks, we should be producing those 3 user stories every 2 weeks, just to show predictability. And then continuous attention. This point says engineering, technical design, continuous attention to the architecture, continuous attention to the technical excellence is key. Okay, if we will not provide that attention to the technical excellence, we will not be getting the great solutions. And few of the critics on the Scrum method is that Scrum says that, okay, do this ceremony, this meeting, produce this artifact. The focus is more on, again, artifacts, ceremonies, meetings, etc. Scrum deliberately don't provide any guidance on the technical excellence. That is main part of Agile principles. And then there comes maintain simplicity. What does it mean, maintain simplicity?
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. How?
But I tell you something. Any big problems, if you divide it or split it to small things, it will be simple by this way. But if you think
Yeah.
the problem by the same problems, it's a big problem you need to solve one time, it will be complicated.
Exactly. I like the idea. This is, mean, they say that if you are in trouble, if your speed is slow, your organization, your team speed is slow, the best way, decompose the big work into smaller chunks. Your life will be easy. Okay. And you will be achieving value on a continuous fashion. That is one way of bringing simplicity. Another way is your design. Your architecture should be so simple that if you need to make any change in the design architecture or in the solution without impacting the functionality, users, they should be getting same functionality, but on the back end, the solution should be that simple that if you are making any change, you can make that change very easily. Okay, that is maintaining simplicity without impacting the observable behavior for the users. Think about Amazon. Do they change? Do they update their portal continuously, or how often they do? And do we feel that? If we are using Amazon website or eBay website, what do you think? What's happening at the front? What's happening at the back end? Is it the same? In fact, no. Okay, we even don't realize that Amazon is updating its website on continuous basis. How often? In seconds. They are updating it, and we even don't feel it at the front end because they made their design very simple. So in software world, previously we used to have spaghetti softwares, okay, this type of softwares, but now we have more like microservices. We are changing one service, adding, removing one service doesn't impact rest of the services. Previously, if we used to remove just one component, the whole software used to be broken. The whole code used to crash. If you remember previously what we used to do with our website, close for maintenance. Do you hear this concept anymore? No. Amazon is never closed for maintenance, or Google is never closed for maintenance, because their solution, their designs are so sophisticated, so simple. Any change, no need to close down the website. Okay, and then there comes the concept of self-organizing teams. Self-organizing teams, that is, instead of project manager determining what we need to do, it is a team who should be choosing. And the last point is reflect and adjust. Reflect and adjust talk about at the end of each iteration, we should be having retrospectives. And retrospective is nothing but self-reflection. In normal waterfall projects, once our projects are completed, then our lesson learned are completed, and we hand over these lesson learned to our organization so that next project should be better. But no one read these lesson learned. In Agile world, we have self-reflection very quick at the end of 1 or 2 weeks when our iteration is finished, called retrospective. Whatever benefits, whatever improvements we find here, we apply it in the next iteration. That is reflect and adjust. Now, guys, we spent quite a lot of time. We have only 45 minutes left. So that's why I will be speeding up. Okay. I hope it will be fine. You can always raise your hand and speak up. Okay. How to do Agile? The right way of doing Agile is not choosing a particular method. For example, you chose Scrum or XP or Discipline Agile. No, the right way of Agile is firstly being Agile and then doing Agile. Being Agile means that your mindset should be as per Agile Manifesto, values and principles, and then you can choose any method of your choice. But both being Agile and doing Agile are important. You can think of like 60% and 40%. Again, don't consider it hard and fast, but yeah, you need to be both be Agile and should be doing Agile. Some name quickly. Agile Manifesto is applicable to all type of projects. What do you think? Nay. Fantastic. Yes. Agile Manifesto really doesn't applicable to all type of projects. In fact, every sector, every field should have their own manifesto, could be inspired from Agile Manifesto for software development, but should be as per our need.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. In the Agile Manifesto, the point number 7, the working software, I want to know that each iteration should have a working software. You should have some output.
We try. That's the focus. We decompose our work in such a way that it should be shippable, but sometimes we have risks to mitigate. Okay. We try to decompose in such a way that we should be producing value very often, but sometimes it's not doable. Okay. Especially where we, instead of building a product on ongoing basis, when we are building a product through a project where we deliver the whole project of product after 3 months. Okay, that may happen. Okay, but we try to decompose our work into user stories. You remember the user stories should be independent, negotiable, of value, estimable. So we try to do it, but sometimes it might not possible. If it is not possible, it's okay. Okay, we should not stop doing work that we are not producing value. We should not stop doing work, but we should be working in such a way that where we should be able to produce value. Okay. Now, how does Agile work? Let's learn it with the help of this quick video. Let me know if you cannot hear the sound. Can you hear the sound?
Not really.
The word iterate.
Yes, now.
No?
Now it's
okay,
coming.
awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, let me run it again.
The word iterate. It comes from the Latin iterare, meaning to repeat. Thus, an iterative way of working repeats itself over and over, optimizing itself each time it does. In an iterative process, work flows into the product backlog from minimum business increments and from the release roadmap. The product backlog is where the team collects all the work flowing to the team. The product owner prioritizes the product backlog, signaling to the team what work is the most important. At the start of each iteration, the team pulls the work they plan to do from the product backlog into the iteration backlog. This is a key point. The team pulls the amount of work it thinks it can get done during the iteration, not the product owner, team manager, or stakeholders. The iteration is the time box around the team's work. The team starts with the iteration planning and ends with the iteration review. Agile teams usually choose between an iteration length of 1 to 4 weeks, with 2 weeks being the most common choice. Regularly, the team meets for a coordination meeting, also called a stand-up or scrum. The stand-up helps the team coordinate and work in a quick and informal way. The iteration review ends the iteration. This review has two parts. It reviews the product and solution built in the iteration and the process, how the team worked together, and what got in their way. In the demo, the team showcases what they accomplished in the iteration. The demo focuses on value delivered and feedback from stakeholders. In the retrospective, the team takes time away from their busy schedule to reflect on how they worked together in the iteration. What aspects made them go faster and be successful? What aspects got in their way of reaching their goals? The team looks both internally, inside the team, and externally, outside the team. The team also lays out a plan to fix some of the points that got in their way during the next iteration. When an iteration is complete, we go back and start over with the iteration planning and pulling work from product backlog into the iteration backlog during the next planning. The Agile iterative process contains a series of artifacts and ceremonies. Artifacts are the objects produced within an iteration. Ceremonies are activities that take place during an iteration. For example, the product backlog is an artifact. It's the complete list of work required to create the product. It collects all the work flowing to the team. The iteration backlog is another artifact. That's the list of work to be completed in the current iteration, and it's supposed to be done in the order determined by the team. There are a couple more artifacts that aren't shown on our diagram. User stories capture a description of a feature from an end-user perspective. A user story describes the type of user, what they want, and why. A burn-down chart is a graphic representation of how quickly the team is working through user stories. We actually touched on most of the ceremonies earlier. These include iteration planning, the coordination meeting, the iteration demonstration, or demo, and the iteration retrospective.
Okay, yeah, a quick introduction. Any question about it? Let's move further. And though we already have this quick introduction, if there will be some more concepts, we will be talking about it. Now, this picture shows a Scrum process. Scrum is one method, one framework of how to do Agile. It is very popular method. That's why I put Scrum here, because not only it's popular, it is also lightweight and simple to understand. And PMI supports all different frameworks and methods, including Scrum, SAFe, XP, Kanban, and we will be learning about PMI's Discipline Agile Toolkit that is based on all these methods in our upcoming workshop. A Scrum process could be understood very well with the help of three things: the roles that is used on Scrum, and then artifacts that we produce on Scrum, and then last but not the least are the ceremonies or the meetings that is recommended, that is required by the Scrum. Three roles: product owner, Scrum master, and the development team. Product owner is representative of our clients, representative of our business people in case of internal projects. Scrum master is more like a Agile leader, Agile coach, a project leader who help the team to do the Agile work. But again, this person doesn't, Scrum master doesn't do micromanagement. It is not command and control work. It is more like servant work. Scrum master serves the team, and team is self-organizing, motivated, empowered teams who choose their own way of working. Now, what happens is, based on our product or project vision, we populate our product backlog. Product backlog is, you can think of in Waterfall is like work breakdown structure. Okay, again, both are not similar, both are similar but not same. In product backlog, we normally have a lot of different features, a lot of different user stories. User stories and features mean our client requirements, and we populate our product backlog, and it is product owner who populate it. So product backlog is one of the feature. So in total, there are 3 features that Scrum promotes, 3 artifacts Scrum promotes: product backlog, and then sprint backlog. Sprint backlog, you can think of, is a subset of product backlog. In product backlog, we have all the requirements from 1 to, for example, 500. And in sprint backlog, we normally have top 2 or 3 requirements that we are going to work in one iteration of 1 to 4 weeks. Okay. In Scrum world, it is fixed 2 weeks. Okay. So sprint backlog is another artifact. And when we start our work, when we start populating our product backlog, we do it with the help of a meeting, a workshop. We call it product backlog refinement meeting or product backlog refinement workshop. Okay, here product owner take the lead, Scrum Master and development team, they support product owner to populate, to to put all the requirements in the product backlog. And normally we write those requirements in user stories. User story is nothing but they are client requirements. We don't write it in technical terms, we write it in simple terms. As a client, I want a particular functionality so that I can get this benefit. Simple. Okay, we don't provide technical requirements. Who determine the technical requirements? Our team. Okay, so this is a different way of working, where team defines what work needs to be done. It is not the client who tells how to do the work. Only thing they provide what they need in a very simple terms, in user stories. Okay, so this is meeting number 1, where we put all the user stories in the product backlog. And then the second meeting is, we call it sprint planning or iteration planning. This is a planning, very detailed one, but only for small batch of work, only for 2 to 3 user stories on which we are working. Okay, sorry, 2 to 3 are depends how many user stories you chose. Okay, so we do sprint planning and we update our sprint backlog. This is second meeting. And third meeting is that we do daily. And this is called daily Scrum or daily stand up. We only meet for small time, for short time, like 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Purpose is not to give status report to our Scrum Master or project manager. No. It is still a planning meeting where we share our what we did yesterday, what we are planning to do today, and if there are any issues. Remember, must not be a status meeting. We should not be providing status of our work to our project manager. In fact, we should be working as a team and planning for our next day. So we keep on working for 2 weeks. At the end, whatever we develop, the product we develop, this product is our third artifact. We demonstrate this product in this meeting called sprint review. So we produce items, we completed them, we did their testing, their evaluation, quality assurance activities. It's time to show to our customer, to our product owner, so that this person can check whatever we produced. Okay, if he or she accepts it, it's fantastic. I mean, our work is accepted. We will consider it done. He or she might not accept it, but also but ask for some modification that we will be doing in the next iteration, or he or she even could reject it. Depends what we produced. Okay, so this is our third artifact called product. And then this meeting where we show our work, sprint review, this is our fourth meeting. And then there comes our last meeting, that is sprint retrospective. This is self-reflection meeting where we focus on 3 P's: people, processes, and the product, and how to improve it. How to improve our product, how to improve our way of working, and how to improve our interaction with each other. This is Scrum process. Any question about it?
I have a question regarding the roles of Scrum Master. As you mentioned that it is a self-organized team. So what is the role for Scrum Master? How will this person will be?
Yeah, this person demonstrate servant or host leadership. In Scrum world, Scrum Master is the one who ensure that we are adopting Scrum way of working properly. He or she is the one who is resolving the issues for the team, bringing all the resources to the team, taking all the impediments out, all the diversions out, no unnecessary deviation from people who are not part of team. He's the one who manage different artifacts, manage in a sense that just admin those artifacts, but it's team who carries on. Also, this person can facilitate many different workshops, many different meetings, like sprint planning meeting, user story writing workshops, retrospective meetings, work like a lead, team lead. Okay.
Okay. I understand.
One more question coming from Noura Ghamidi. Is the product backlog must be clear at the beginning of the project? How do you see it, Dr. Faiz?
Okay. Interestingly, what happened is when we set our project or product vision, okay, based on this vision statement, normally we set our roadmap. Okay. And this roadmap consists of multiple releases or multiple projects. This is the whole product on which we are working for 1 year. And for each quarter, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, we are releasing different solutions. Okay. Consider these quarters or these releases as a project. Okay, so we start here. Okay, we have this product backlog initially populated. We will keep on refining them. They need not to clear. We should keep on refining them. Refinement means we should always keep on putting highest value feature on the top, so that our team can go and choose the top 1, 2, or 3 items they want to work at. Okay, it really doesn't mean like it's just like a slate to whom we need to clean it. No, we should keep on refining it, so that we should keep on working on the highest priority items. They could be features, they could be the risks that needs to be mitigated, could be anything. Okay, so it works like this.
Thank you.
There is no standard agile terminologies. Remember, different methods, they use different terminologies. PMI's discipline agile use standard methods that everyone can understand. For example, PMI discipline agile doesn't call it Scrum Master. They call it team lead. Okay. Similarly, they don't call daily meeting as a daily Scrum. They call it daily coordination meeting. Okay. Now, let's try it out. We are planning an iteration. I will be product owner and you will be team members. Okay. Our task will be to pull those user stories, those work items that are more important. Okay, for our upcoming iteration. Look on these cards. What do you think? So these are the cards I provided you. Okay, as a product owner. These are my requirements. As a team, which card, which 1, 2, 3 cards we should be choosing for first iteration? Choose 3. Write it in the comments. Which 3 you will choose?
So Hilal is choosing 235.
Yeah, 235 by Hilal. Okay.
Yes.
Other guess.
Maybe you elaborate more on this for the people.
Yeah, so what you need to do, you have to choose top 3 cards that are immediate for our next work. Again, there is no hard and fast rule, guys. But when I will be showing you example, it would be very logical. Okay, but you can choose the cards you feel are the most important, immediately important. Okay, few chose 235, other chose 643, 135, 23, 135, 246, 135. So different people chose different cards. As a team, we must be reaching to the consensus which 3 cards are important. Okay, now let's have a look on these cards. As a learner, I would like to learn more about how Agile works. Makes sense. It should be part of it. But let's see other cards. As a learner, I would like to learn the step my team needs to take to choose its own way of working. Again, it is important. As a learner, I would like to be able to build and maintain an effective, disciplined, agile team. Okay. Maybe not. As a learner, I would like to learn about what discipline agile is. Card 5, as a learner, I would like to find out about how to influence team level agility outside my team. Card 5 is not part of it. No. As a learner, I would like to learn the principal promises and guidelines that govern discipline agile. So learning about agile, learning about discipline agile, the basic mindset, all these are important. So let's see. Card 146. Anyone with these options? Yeah, Jawahir Al-Kehtani. 146. As a learner, I want to learn about agile, learn about discipline agile, and the mindset of discipline agile. Yeah. As a learner, I would like to find out about how to influence team level agility outside my team. Card 5. No, Iman, until we don't know about these concepts, how can we find out that as a team lead, how can we influence outside our team level? So this is much later. The purpose of this exercise was how product owner populate product backlog and how team choose the top items they feel is appropriate. Okay. Now let's move further. Agile ceremonies. You know about agile ceremonies, isn't it? Iteration planning, daily coordination meeting, iteration demonstration, iteration retrospective, product backlog refinement, 5 ceremonies. Okay. More details about these ceremonies, I will be providing you these notes. We are short of time. That's why I'm not going in depth of them. Who should attending these ceremonies? How frequent should be them? What should be their length? What are their purpose? Each of the Agile ceremonies, iteration planning, daily coordination meeting, and iteration demonstration. Okay, then there was an activity. I am skipping that activity. The reason is we have only 15 minutes left and there are few more topics I really want to cover before the end of this workshop. Okay. So I'm skipping this activity. We don't have time. Agile artifacts. I told you Scrum has 3 artifacts: product backlog, sprint backlog, and the product itself. However, other methods may have other artifacts as well. For example, here we are talking about product backlog, iteration backlog, burn down charts, user stories. We are considering them as different artifacts. In fact, we want to focus on one of the artifact, that is user story. Okay, user story is nothing but our requirements written in simple words. Let's watch this video on user story. Okay.
User stories are tools used in Agile to capture a description of a feature from the end user's perspective. They help to achieve cross-team
Can you
clarity
please
on
raise the
what,
voice from your side?
who, why, and when.
Sorry, no voice.
No, there is voice, but raise it a bit if you can.
There is a bit of issue.
No, خلاص, go ahead. No issues.
Okay. Tell me again, okay?
Actually, the volume is low a bit. So in case you can
Okay.
increase the volume only.
Oh, yeah, I can try it. So I can try to increase the volume.
User stories are tools used in Agile to capture a description of a feature from the end user's perspective. They help to achieve cross-team clarity on what to build, for whom, why, and when. User stories are customer-centric. They start with the customer in mind. And they're phrased from the user standpoint instead of from the systems. User stories are lightweight. They are easy to write and change, and they easily break into smaller pieces. User stories are collaborations. Anyone can write a user story, but the team can't work on it until they understand it. User stories help build quality into the solution. They use acceptance criteria and a definition of done to ensure quality. And each story is reviewed at the end of the iteration and accepted or rejected, so we don't have to go rethink it over and over. So, what's the criteria for a good user story? This mnemonic offers some solid guidance. Good user stories are independent of other stories. This makes it easier to plan and deliver the work. Good user stories are negotiable. This makes collaboration easier, and it makes it easier to include feedback and input from the delivery team and others. Good user stories are valuable. They have value for the end user. Good user stories are estimable. That is, we can estimate its size to determine whether it's small, medium, or large. This makes planning and delivering easier. Good user stories are small. This makes it easier to estimate, plan, and delivery. As a rule, a good user story is anywhere from half a day to 2 days' work. And finally, good user stories are testable. They can be tested to demonstrate that we did what we said we would.
So that was an introduction to user stories. Any question about it?
No, it's fine.
Okay, thank you, Shalan. One example of user story. As a participant, I want to learn how to write user stories so that I can use them in my own team settings to enable our agility. So this is one example of a user story, 3 components. As a participant, what I want, what benefit I will be getting. That's how normally a user story is written. Now, each user story have acceptance criteria and definition of done that we will be covering today, and that would be end of our today's workshop. But before that, let's talk about a yay or nay. Read this statement and comment, yay or nay. Yay, true. Everyone said yay. It make a lot of sense as well. Another yay or nay time. Question 2. Yay or nay? Okay, Noora said nay. Yep, I agree. It's nay. The reason is anyone can write the user stories, but team should be working when they have a good understanding of those user stories. Another yay or nay. The question number 3. A good user story is independent, valuable, and complex. Question 3. Nay, yay. It's nay. Why it's nay? We don't want our user stories should be complex. We want them to be simple. And that was yay and nay time. Okay. Many different techniques to estimate the level of effort, estimate the duration to complete a user stories. However, it is very important that when we are estimating these effort, we do some mistakes in Agile world. We try to go in more details and try to precisely estimate. No, in Agile world, there is no precisely estimation. Okay, sometimes we start designing the work while estimating. Okay, and the last thing is whatever we estimate, we don't commit to it. Better ways are thinking estimating our level of effort as a best guess only based on current information mean our estimate can improve over the period of time, and we can refine it as we go. Many different methods for estimation. One of the method is called t-shirt sizing. In this example, I'm showing you a t-shirt sizing where I will be putting different user stories in different sizes. For example, one user story here. Okay, that's the size of this user story. Okay, another user story in the next size, another user story in the next size. And we can keep on doing it to determine which user stories are small, which user stories are medium size, what are large, very large, and extra large. This technique helps us to determine how much effort we need for extra large, how much for medium, how much for small. And we are able to compare our estimation between two different groups and within the group between different user stories. This is called t-shirt sizing. And then there are many other techniques as well. Next step is once we estimated our effort, we work on it, we completed it. Next step is how we will ensure that if our story is completed or not. The technique is acceptance criteria and the definition of done. Okay, it helps to determine when our work is completed. The definition of both acceptance criteria and DOD is given. DOD is a bigger checklist in which acceptance criteria could be one part of it. Acceptance criteria is mostly written for each of the user story. Okay, so definition of done is a bigger checklist. And one item of that checklist is acceptance criteria that says that how user consider it completed. For example, if this is a user story, as a participant, I want to learn how to write user stories so that I can use them in my own team setting to enable our agility. What will be the acceptance criteria? Maybe we have covered the topic of user stories and we have watched a video on the user story. If we did it, I learned how to write effective user stories. Similarly, the definition of done, set of items, a checklist must be satisfied before we consider a user story is completed. Okay, you can think about it. What would be your definition of done of learning user stories? What else you want to fully understand the user stories? This is an example of definition of done. acceptance criteria is part of it. Here we are writing definition of done about a course. Okay, course on user stories. This course acceptance criteria is met. That is concepts of user story and a video, and then other checklist item. Our online standards are met. The content has been verified and vetted by subject matter expert. Content is reviewed by editorial staff. Changes are updated and documented, and content has been pilot tested. So this is definition of done for any course. Okay. Through this, we are able to determine the work we are doing is of client need or not. Okay. At this point in time, I will be stopping because it's already 2 hours. In fact, 5 minutes are left. And during those 5 minutes, we can have question and answers. What do you think, guys? Okay. Does these sizes has a criteria? No, you start randomly. For example, put one user story in the medium and then compare other user stories with that user story and see where they need to be placed. These sizes are specific with your team, specific with you. Other team may be doing this estimation in a different way. Any other question or comment? Faizul Alam, his comment is around how to work when project managers and the senior team members have issues and senior team members are using his or her relationship with the sponsor. So Faizul Alam, I think it's more about system that is problematic. Until system is not corrected, nothing may happen. Individual efforts doesn't work. System that works. So people are not an issue. The issue is with the system. Okay, Manal Al-Atrish.
Yeah, Manal, let's just ask me about the exam. I think maybe you need to touch on the exam this or the next presentation. So what do you think?
Yeah, so we can do one practice exam if you like. Okay, and then we will be issuing a certificate of completion. So the category could be anything rather than SML. Yeah. It could be. I mean, in t-shirt sizing, we normally put it small, medium size, large size, just like t-shirt sizing to make life easy. But you can use planning poker, Fibonacci series, okay, story points that are like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 40, 100. Okay.
Okay, Dr. Faiz.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And
yes, I think we are coming to the end. So any comments we need before we close and before we go about the next session?
Yeah, just feel free to ask.
Yeah, actually, this is part of part 1 of the workshop. The second part will be next Wednesday at the same time. So please join us in the next time as well, so that you get the certificate as well. You get 4 PDUs for these 2 things. It was a really very interesting session today. I see a lot of interaction from the people, so that is very interesting as well. And that means they are happy with the approach as well. In case you have any comments, please send it to us, so that we can try to find and improve actually what we are doing. Maybe also need to focus on the discipline Agile by PMI, maybe just for the people to understand the exam and how it's coming, because it's a new exam somehow. So maybe we need to focus on it for the next time, inshallah, Dr. Faiz.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say to our audiences? Actually, yes, we have recording for this. And usually we put all our records on our PMI KSA YouTube channel. So you can find all these recordings as well. It's published on the our LinkedIn account usually. So you can go from there to our PMI YouTube channel. As well, you can see it in the website. Dr. Faiz, it's to you. Do you have any comments, any things? Need some preparation from the team for next session?
I think you did a great job, Shalan, and I highly appreciate your effort and your time throughout 2 hours working with us. It's fantastic, and we will continue for our next workshop as it is.
Okay, great. So looking forward to have all of you actually for next session. I think you will provide us the PowerPoint presentation to share it with the audiences as well, Dr. Faiz.
Yeah, I can provide it, and we will provide it at the end of second workshop, and you can send to them.
Yes. Okay, so we can provide it and we can share it with the audiences actually. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you and have a good evening. Have a good morning for you, Dr. Faiz, and the other part of the world. So,
thank you.
And see you next time. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum.